Hello and welcome to another net worth update. About 6 months ago, I revealed our net worth, and I thought that I would do an update to see if it's increased or decreased since then. I think it's fun to track the value of our assets so that looking at our debts isn't so discouraging. But it's okay if you're still working on debt payoff and you don't really have any assets yet. It's good to see your net worth move from a negative to a positive when you pay down your debts. I love watching those success stories of when someone's net worth goes from negative to positive. So let me know in the comments if you track your net worth and how much debt you've paid down. In my first net worth video, I gave my whole backstory of when I started investing and how we ended up with the $500,000 of debt that we have. So I'll link that video if you want more of a story, but I'll give a brief overview in just a bit. You can also watch my debt confessions afterwards if you want a real deep dive into our debts. But anyway, if you're new here and you want to know a bit more about me and the us I refer to, then hi, I'm Kathy. I'm 33 years old and I'm a software engineer. I have 2 bachelor's degrees and a master's degree. I'm married and my husband is an electrical engineer and he has a bachelor's degree. I only mention our degrees because we have student loan debt, like most people our age. We also have a daughter who's almost a year old. I started this channel to hold myself accountable towards paying off our debts and saving towards financial independence by sticking to a budget. And hopefully I can inspire others along the way by sharing our story and our progress. I know it's kind of hard to talk about money in our society, so you don't really get to see very many regular people openly navigating life's hard money decisions. But that's what I'm here for, to share our journey. And I think we're going to have a couple of tough decisions coming up in the new year. So let's just jump right into our assets. In March, I reported that we had about $362,000 in our retirement savings. Since then, we've contributed about $6,000, and as of the end of August, we are at just over $400,000. So we had a lot of market gains, but some of that was also employer contributions. I currently have a loan out against my retirement, but that doesn't affect the current value of it, as I've reported it. In March, I owed about $39,000, and I currently owe about $37,000. So that $2,000 difference was paid directly into my retirement account. So it's as if I saved an additional $2,000 over the past 6 months. I sometimes have difficulty deciding if these loan payments are debt payments or retirement savings. So let me know what you think. We're contributing to these accounts at a rate of 4% for me, and then an employer base and match of about 12.5%. My husband is contributing 3% with an employer match of 3%. We used to contribute to his Roth IRA, however, we haven't been for the past 6 months. But we might start again soon if everything else works out for our savings goals this year. We also started a 529 savings plan for my daughter's education, and that's invested as well. However, I'm not tracking that value here because it's for her education and it hasn't really changed much compared to what we contributed to it. In terms of property, we have a house and 2 cars. My car is paid off, however, we still owe about $15,000 on my husband's truck. Back in March, we owed about $19,000, so currently we're making pretty good progress. The estimated combined value of the vehicles is $39,000, which is a slight decrease from the $41,000 that I reported back in March, which is to be expected because they are cars and they usually depreciate in value. We currently have no plans of selling either vehicle because both my husband and I need them for our long commutes to work. My car just reached 50,000 miles and it's 6 years old, so I'm hoping that it will continue to run for as long as I need it. The estimated value from our house on Zillow is $653,000. I know that this isn't a true representation, but we're not really planning on selling our house anytime soon. In March, it was valued at $639,000, so it has increased a little bit. As the value of the house increased, the amount that we owed on our mortgage has decreased since we've been making payments every month. It was $446,000 at the end of March, and it's currently $441,000. So even though we've made over $13,000 worth of payments, only $5,000 of the principal has decreased, and everything else has gone to interest and escrow. However, our interest rate is pretty low on the house, so we're not really planning to pay that off early. Additionally, we have our full roof loan of $44,000 still that we took out last April and that I mentioned in that previous video. It has deferred interest for an entire year, so instead of making payments towards it, we've been saving up. So speaking of savings, in our emergency fund, sinking funds, and roof savings, we currently have $51,000. That's a pretty big increase from the amount of $35,000 that I reported last March. So it's currently enough to pay off our roof. However, we don't want to deplete all of our savings. So we are going to continue to keep saving for the roof all the way up until it's due next April, so that we can continue to receive as much interest from our high yield savings account as we can. So we will completely pay that off next April, and it'll be a huge weight lifted off our shoulders. I hate having all of this debt. Is there anyone who likes it? And finally, as I alluded to before, we have student loans. It's not too bad. It's a little bit more than the average for a single person, but fortunately, all of the interest rates are pretty low at below 4.5%. In March, we owed $36,000, and after paying $2,000 towards the loans, we still owed $35,000. So not very much progress. But again, this isn't really a priority for us as the interest rates aren't so high. So now let's calculate our net worth. To do this, we'll add up all of our assets, so our retirement accounts and savings, and then our house and car values. And we get $1,143,000. Then we'll add up all of our liabilities. So all of our debts, the mortgage, the roof loan, the student loans, my retirement account loan, and the truck loan. That comes to $574,000. So our assets minus our liabilities, $1,443,000 minus $574,000 equals $569,000. In March, it was $493,000, so that's an increase of $76,000. I really need to make a graph to calculate and show this because I think it would be so satisfying to see the increases. Last time I also calculated our liquid assets. So I took the house, the mortgage, the cars, and the car loan out of the equation. Then it was $278,000, and doing that now, we get $451,000 in assets minus $118,000 in debts for $333,000, which is an increase of $55,000. So not as much of an increase. But anyway, let me know in the comments if you calculate your net worth. I would love to hear what it is if you're willing to share. If you found this video at all interesting or entertaining, then I would appreciate if you liked it. And if you're still watching and you haven't subscribed yet, then I'd like to know why in the comments so I can improve my content. But I do plan to keep on sharing all of the details of my family's finances, from our debts to our investments, our daily spending to our monthly budget. And I would love to have you follow along. Thank you for being here.